Welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be doing a trade recap from March 25th. I traded GME and Tesla, took 4 total trades, had 3 winners, and made $837 on the day. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about the current market environment. It is definitely very tough out there. I'm sure there are a lot of traders who are really struggling, especially ones who got involved in the market pretty recently. This is nothing like 2020, and as a matter of fact, this is more like how trading really is. Unlike last year, you can't get away with being sloppy. If you are not on your A game every single day, it can usually lead to getting pretty chopped up and beat up. And this is a great example as to why trading is so tough, and experience usually wins, because if something was working for a short period of time and then the market environment changes, that's when it gets really tough. And being able to adapt is not easy, and I feel like that's where a lot of people decide to quit, because what was working no longer works. They get pretty chopped up and then they decide to throw in the towel because it's just too much for them. And I want to talk about one of the changes that I've made. So because the environment's a little bit more choppy, so I have scaled back. I'm trading very small size and I'm trading shares, because at least with shares, if it doesn't go relatively quickly, I can get out, and those losses are usually small as long as I don't overtrade and take numerous losses in a row. So in the current environment, I just feel better trading small share size and being able to know exactly where I'm long or short. And if it doesn't start to move away from that price pretty quickly, I need to just get out of the position. And also making sure to trade a little less. I know that when things are really moving, it wouldn't be that uncommon for me to take 3, 4, 5 trades really quick off the open. But because things tend to not have that much follow through now, I'm really trying to focus on 1 to 3 trades and make each one of them really count. Because in the video I posted not that long ago where I quickly hit my max daily loss, if I'm taking 1, 2, 3 trades really fast, it's very easy to have all those be quick losers, and then that's where those days can get pretty nasty. So those are some of the things that I'm doing, and I just really want to stress that this environment is not easy. So if you're struggling, you're not alone. I'm having a tough time as well. The main thing that I'm taking away from this is that there are going to be periods of time where the market is just tougher to trade, and the most important thing is to stay alive. So what I'm doing is I am just adjusting my expectations. Let's say, for example, I'm used to making anywhere from right around $500 to $1,000 a day, just because that's how things have been going. Now the market gets a little tougher. I'm scaling that back. If I can make anywhere from like $250 to $500, that's a win. So really making sure to have realistic expectations with the market that's right in front of me at the moment, and also not getting too stressed out and spinning my wheels and over trading and destroying my account. So with that being said, now let's get into the technicals of SPY and Qs. So on the SPY, prior day, pretty nasty candle. Lost the 9 EMA, lost the 20 SMA, felt like it had a chance to get to the 50 SMA on the daily. So really just looking at prior day's low, 387.47. It was trading just below that. And now, does it hold the 50 SMA on the daily or not? And now getting into the Qs, so the prior day candle, pretty nasty. Lost the 9 EMA, the 20 SMA, below the 50 SMA on the daily, unlike the SPY. So now it was just about looking at prior day's low, 311.72. It was trading below it. There was a little bit of support right around 310, but still not looking good on the daily. So does it gap and go, or does the dip get bought? And now getting into Tesla, prior day, candle does not look good. It lost the 9 EMA, the 20 SMA. So it was just looking at prior day's low, 630.11. It was trading below that. It was actually pretty far below that. So also having pre-market low, 604.44, and then pre-market high, 643, and then really just letting price action tell me what it wants to do and try to wait for some sort of clean pattern. And now GME, so had the big move from 50 up to about 350, pulled back, been consolidating for a little bit, and on the 24th it finally broke below a lot of this consolidation, got below the 9 EMA, the 20 SMA, and just below the 50 SMA on the daily. So this didn't look good. I thought it was going to go lower, but I want price action to tell me that. So trying to have the basic technical levels that I always look at. Prior day's low, 118.62, pre-market low, 119.50, and pre-market high, 136. Okay, so the first trade is on GME, so it pushed off the open and then failed. So sellers took control off the open, lost VWAP, lost the 9 EMA, and it's about to go red. So I am waiting for a flag pattern, and I really like when there is some sort of green candle that I can use as a guide. So the low of day is 119.84, and the low of that candle, that green candle that's being formed right now, is 120. So in my head, I'm thinking if this can break 120, also knowing that prior day's low is below, that I think there's a chance that this can go lower. And I'm trading shares. I do not want to trade options on GME just because the implied volatility, if you see in the top right, is over 300%. So I have 200 shares loaded, and now I just want to see some weakness. And if it gets to 120, that's going to be an area where I want to go short. And it comes into 120, and I end up getting short right there. And I got a pretty good fill. 120.17 was my entry, and this is the kind of trade that I like. So get in at a spot that I feel like it has a chance to go lower or higher if I'm long, and then instantly in the money. So now I can play defense. I do not want to let this go red, and then as it starts to speed up, that's going to be the time where I need to get out of the trade. And even though I wanted to hold this and felt like maybe this could get to 100, I'm having that scalping mentality, especially in this environment. The moment things start to go, if they go further, so be it. I may miss some of that move, but being able to just take the quick scalp seems to always pay off compared to holding it. So I end up getting a nice move right there and then just taking those quick profits and got out at 117.88. So I ended up getting just over 2 points in like 35 seconds. And the second trade is going to be on Tesla. So I really thought that Tesla had a chance to break down, and it didn't. So just listening to the price action, it put in a higher low, it went over high of day, and now this is starting to look like a flag pattern. I actually traded options on this, and this was the trade that let me know that trading shares is probably just the better way to go moving forward. So that was a nice flag pattern. Also the red to green, just trying to play the momentum. I ended up getting long 4 contracts. I got filled at 14.25, and I think I did a pretty good job on this trade because I wanted to see this break 630 and then go very fast, 631, 632, really start to speed up. And it does not do that. It is clearly struggling right around that red to green area, which sometimes can be resistance. And as it starts to pull back and it does not go quick, I end up just getting out of the trade for a flat. And that's probably one of my better trades because it did not go the way that I wanted to see it go. And the moment it pulled in, I actually had the discipline to do what I should do on all of my trades, which is just get out. Because had I held it, that would have been a decent loss. And this is a great example of why cutting a trade quick when it's not going in my favor can be such a powerful thing. Because had I been stubborn, like I'm very guilty of being, look how far that pulled in. That pulled in over 10 points. So had I been patient and waited, that would have been a nasty trade. So overall, I'm very happy with my execution on that trade. Okay, so the third trade is going to be on GME, and I'm really glad that I only took the quick scalp short earlier and I didn't hold it, because had I did, that would have been a nice loss. But now, what is GME doing? It got back above VWAP, and it's trading right at high of day. I know I'm not the only person who probably was very short biased this, so if there's anybody still holding a short position, if it gets over high of day, I would think that's where their stops would be. So 129 right now is that major level. So if it breaks 129, I want to be a part of that trade. And I actually hesitated for half a second and I did not get the best entry. So the moment that it started to go in my favor, I just made sure that I have to just take those quick profits. So right there, broke 129 and my fill was 129.90. I really wanted to get an entry just before it, but that's what happens when you sometimes hesitate just a little bit. So right when it starts to go in my favor, I know that the right thing to do is just get out of the trade. And I ended up getting out right there. So I was in the trade for only 13 seconds and got about $1.20 on that move. And now here's the funny part. So after that trade, I took a peek at my P&L, went into the portfolio, and I saw that I was up $666, which is a terrible number. So I knew in the back of my mind, I'm taking one more trade. I don't care if it's a small winner or a small loser. I just don't want to be at 666. So the fourth and final trade is on Tesla. So had that failed red to green move, pulled back below VWAP. Now it's back towards high of day. This looks pretty good for a high of day break. Gets to that 630 area. I want to be long. I'm trading very small share size at this point. So I took 100 shares. I got filled at 630.65. And now I'm instantly in the money, which I like. These are the kind of trades that are the best. The moment I'm in the money, I now can play defense. I don't have to let that trade go red. And then when it starts to speed up, just get out of the trade. So that was a very nice candle, got a quick move, and ended up just taking those quick profits. I was in that trade for 19 seconds and got almost 2 points, which is great. Those are my favorite kind of trades. Get in, goes in my favor instantly, starts to speed up, and then just get out. And now let's look at the portfolio. So I ended up making 693 on GME, 171 on the Tesla shares, and then minus 26 on the 630 calls, which I'm actually most proud about. I know that I'm capable of having days like this where I can keep those losses small. It's just every now and then things get to you, you screw up, and stuff happens. But my biggest thing that I am working on is making sure to have my days look a lot like this. Nice size winners and keep those losses as small as possible. It's always a work in progress. So that was the recap. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.